171 Boeing planes remain grounded as the FAA investigates what caused a 737 MAX 9 plane to experience a mid-air decompression. The cabin panel actually flew off.
In the days since a shocking flight, I think everyone has seen that video. Alaska Airlines and United Airlines have inspected their fleet of MAX 9 aircraft and have reported finding some loose bolts on the same panel called a door plug. Boeing says it will participate in any investigation.
So joining us tonight via Zoom is Mike Stengel, principal of Aerodynamic Advisory, a consulting firm in Ann Arbor. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you very much. Good evening.
Good evening to you. A lot of people are obviously very concerned about these planes after seeing this issue and several others that have made headlines through the years. We know that the FAA is investigating the cause of this issue, and those findings could take a while. Can you tell us what that investigation involves?
Yep. So as it stands right now, the FAA and NTSB tend to not reveal too many details, but from what has been released so far, it looks like that they're probing the manufacturing processes and the quality assurance at both Boeing and their suppliers that are responsible for the fuselage and this plug type door that's in question that was in focus in this accident.
Now, how serious is this type of fault?
Well, obviously, no one wants to see a hole outside the plane in the seat next to them, and it can't happen again. And Boeing and their suppliers will have to find the corrective action for this before they can return these aircraft back into service. And you definitely can't have exits suddenly appear out of nowhere when you're flying in a pressurized aircraft at 30,000 feet, where the results can be far more disastrous than they were at this time.
Absolutely. And so far in the preliminary parts of the investigation, we've heard that there were supposed to be some bolts in place, but investigators say at this point they're not even sure if those bolts were actually even there. Just speak to the magnitude of how scary and serious this is. Obviously not a good look for the company.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a really tough investigative process. That door flew off at 16,000 feet, and then the investigators had to go find that door, which took a little bit, and landed in the backyard of a science teacher, I believe. And now I believe what they're going through is determining if the right bolts were installed in the first place and then properly secured. They need to really do a lot of digging to reach their the most accurate conclusions possible, and then the corrective actions.
And while the investigation is still ongoing and they're checking that all these bolts are in place and tightened, will passengers still be safe? Will they be sending these aircraft back into operation during the investigation?
So as of now, the MAX 9 fleet in the U.S. is still grounded. In the scheme of things, it's not that many aircraft affected. It's about 171 aircraft in the U.S., and there's thousands of aircraft that the airlines operate in the U.S. So the magnitude of the impact is fairly limited, and it's also only Alaska United that fly these. So the airlines are waiting for corrective action to come down from Boeing and the NTSB before they can return them back to service. So no other aircrafts are affected at this time.
Unfortunately for Boeing, we've had to have a lot of very uncomfortable conversations about those planes, and that happens to incite a lot of fear. Just in terms of the damage that this is doing to that overall brand, how do you think they can recover from this?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to work very closely with the regulatory authorities like the NTSB and the FAA to up their game in the quality assurance in their manufacturing processes. And right now, as far as customers go, it's really difficult to pull orders because the backlogs are so long. So it's not like you can just cancel an order for a 737 and then jump in line for an A320, because you may not get it for another 5 years. So I think people will just have to wait and see for the conclusions of the investigation, and then Boeing will have to do a lot of work to ensure that their brand and the reputation is not damaged, and keep those long-term customers around. And this aircraft in particular, 737, is their profit engine.
All right, we will of course keep tracking that investigation. Mike Stengel of Aerodynamic Advisory, thank you again for being here.
Thank you very much.